And I'm hoping that we are live. It's not showing Facebook again. We're on YouTube, but I don't see Facebook. So let me go down here. It says streaming. Oh, okay. So it does say streaming onto Facebook. So, yes, it is. I hope you guys can hear us. I'm going to bring in Miss Alanna, and I'm going to say, I am so sorry, Alanna. We messed that up so bad, but we're going to start from scratch. How are you?
I am good.
Good. Hey, if people are listening, can you just please just kind of click in the link? And I'm going to grab my phone and just see. It says we're live, but I want to make sure we're live. I just want to try to make sure we're live. It says nothing. Come on, people. Somebody's got to be listening. There we are. I see it. Oh my goodness, we're live. Hi, folks. Once again, it's the Alanna and Kevin. It's the energy the two of us put out. I'm convinced of that. Because do you remember that one time? I think it might have been our very first show we ever did together.
Yeah.
And we were just about to talk about things that we shouldn't talk about.
Yeah. Removing entities and stuff, and all of a sudden it crashed.
Everything crashed. It wasn't just like we went off the air.
No.
Everything went kaboom. It was like,
Yeah.
what
Looks like
just,
it
it
was
was like a bolt
intentional.
of lightning came down and said, don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually have viewers now. Hi, everybody. My
Yay.
apologies for going late, but we had technical difficulties once again. Anybody who's ever watched this show knows that I am famous for technical difficulties. I don't know why. It just happens. The stupid thing was that Alanna and I were on here for 15, 20 minutes prior to going live, and everything was working fine
Yeah.
until I clicked that go live button, and then the gremlins kicked in.
That's right.
So, how are you doing, Alanna?
I'm doing great.
That's good. I was going to say it's been a long time since I've seen you, but we talk almost every single day now.
Yeah, we have stuff going on and
We have
planning
we,
stuff.
if you're watching, you got to stay watching until the very end of the show because we have two massive announcements to talk about. One is concerning Alanna, and one is concerning Kevin and Alanna. That sounds weird. Um, Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Allison's like, excuse me. Your hubby's going, do we need to talk?
No, he's good.
He's good. Good. People are actually watching. So, Alanna, what has been going on? Before we get into what's been going on, why don't you kind of recap who you are, how you got to where you are in the net? Like, just kind of give us your 101, your elevator pitch, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. My company is um, Akashic Dragon Healing Services, and I do a few different things. I do Akashic records, so past lives and that type of thing, mediumship. I also do a lot of card readings, but they're oracle cards, so messages from your angels, messages from your guides, and all of that kind of thing. But I also teach Akashic records, and I teach
Yes.
Reiki, and so I do a lot of energy healing, which is much more complex than Reiki on its own, which is pretty powerful actually, because I work with dragons quite closely. And so yeah, so that's kind of it. I have been doing it professionally for, I'd say, 4 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and a lot of it came through when my mother passed away. I always had been able to do some of these things, but when she passed away, which is almost 5 years ago, everything just went crazy. And I'm also a certified Heal Your Life teacher and coach, so just a little bit of everything, you know.
You
So
do a little bit of everything, but
yeah,
you do it very well. And I can speak from
thank you.
experience, both from we've both had sessions with each other. Which, by the way, we still owe each other a session, just so you remember.
Yeah,
Um, but also I have sent many clients to you and I have heard the rave reviews. Oh, I'm
Oh,
getting the energy, folks. We talked about it in the last in the pathetic attempt of going live the last time, but August 8th is a special day. It
mhm.
is called the Dragon Gate. Is that no? That's not right.
No.
That ain't right.
The Lionsgate portal?
The Lionsgate portal.
You
So
know,
it's
Leo, like a Leo Scorpio.
oh.
Yeah.
See, I think of Lionsgate. I'm thinking of the mountains in I grew up in Vancouver, and it was a
Oh, okay.
Lionsgate mountain.
Yeah.
Was the mountain that looked like a lion.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
so, but right now, today, there's a portal that opened up, and just to simplify it, it's putting out some amazing, crazy energy.
Yeah,
Do
it
we
is.
know where that portal opened up? Is that a known thing?
I'm not sure because I'm not. I don't do astronomy, so I can't really say, but or astrology for that matter, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just really intense, powerful energy because of the star from Sirius, and it's. I'm sure somebody else can explain it much better than me.
Me too.
But
All I know is
it's a
the
really good
energy has
time.
been messed up today, and I couldn't
Yeah,
figure it out
yeah,
until we were actually talking. And I read something online, and I just kind of half read it and passed it by. And
yeah,
then you had said it when we were chatting before we went live, and I went, "Oh, this is making way more sense." Because the energy has been wacko today, like wacko wacko. Even my other job, which is a sports talk show, um, it was crazy. It was like a different the energy I was getting from it. So, and
yeah.
energy from people was really weird as well, in a good way though, not in a like a
Yeah,
bad
and
way.
it's the perfect day to manifest and set your intentions for what you want and what you're working towards and release what no longer serves you. So it's very powerful energy, especially since we just had a powerful full moon as well. So there's a lot of stuff been going on, right? So
And there's a
it's
super moon coming up. Like it was a blue moon. Now that
yeah,
September or August 30th is a super moon.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
or
So
super
that'll be
blue moon.
Yeah, it'll be powerful too. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of powerful energies that have been happening, right?
that
Lately in
is
the last few
cool.
weeks too. So just to keep that in mind.
Speaking of powerful energy, we're going to jump into what we really want to talk about because you recently took a trip that I tell you, I don't get jealous very often of people taking trips because I take a lot of trips myself. But
Mhm.
there is one trip that I am dying to take, and that's to Ireland. My
Yeah.
dad, who, as you know, passed away when
Mhm.
mom was 8 months pregnant with me,
Yeah.
that's where he's from. He immigrated from Belfast. So
Wow.
it's somewhere I need to go to, and I will one day go there. But you went there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty powerful. And it's very interesting things started happening. I had been called to go to Ireland for several years. And also, I went to Scotland as well and Portugal. So, different things happened in different places, but Ireland by far was the most powerful trip. Um, and an interesting thing happened as soon as I booked my airfare to go to Ireland. Um, I don't know if you know who Saint Bridget is, but she's an Irish saint, like a warrior, and she started coming through to me
Oh,
from the
very
moment I
cool.
booked my flight, almost to the point like a spirit guide type, But
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so she had come and she had said, you're missing one of something in your plans. Double check everything, and
See, I
sure enough,
remember
I'm missing
this. I remember the whole "you're missing something. There's something you haven't checked off yet."
which was good that she said that because there was something missing.
Nice.
It was a connection, like a train or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Yeah.
so but we were really great because my husband and I went and we hired a private guide, and my goal was that our trip in Ireland, we were there for 10 days to go to mostly spiritual places. I wasn't interested in a lot of the touristy places. Some of the touristy places we did for sure,
Yeah,
right?
of
Because while
course.
you're there, like the Cliffs of Moher and stuff. But it was, and we had the most amazing guide, and he was really great. Anyway, there's a few things that happened. So we
Yeah.
did go to St. Bridget's Well, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And it's like this little cave that has a little waterfall in it, and
Oh, very cool.
yeah, and the energy was very, very powerful. And there's rosaries hanging all over the place, and you could just feel the energy in there, which
Nice.
was very, very beautiful. But the most impactful thing that I found that happened there was our guide took us to a field, and it was a fairy field. And I have these videos on my Instagram, but
And what is your Instagram handle for people to go
Alanna
look at them?
Scott King.
Alanna Scott King.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. Anyway, so he takes us to this field, and he said in 1950, like in this field, let me just tell you about the field first. It's just like a plain field, but it's vibrant green, and it looks like it's been mowed perfectly. There are no weeds, there are no wildflowers. There are trees on there that are like flat on the top in the back,
Oh,
and it's just very interesting. And across the road, and it's a very small road. If anybody's been to Ireland before, they know they're very skinny, like it was like a gravel road. And so across the road was another field, but it had wildflowers. It was this high, and it was just totally different, not as green. And then he said, in 1950, on this first field, there was a family that was there, and another family went to check on the neighbors because they hadn't heard from them, and all five people were dead in their house. And there was no reason they should be dead. There was like literally no reason. And
wow.
then what came out was they upset the fairies. And so nobody has stepped on this land in that whole time. And it is perfectly cut, and I could feel it. You could feel the energy. And so then I would make sure that I stayed outside the fence, of course, and said, just putting forward, thank you for allowing me to be here. And, I'm very appreciative and stuff. And it was just very powerful.
That
But
is so cool.
it was incredible. But even when I came home, I ended up doing a painting of this field, which was powerful. And I could see, and it's funny because I do watercolor, so it's just kind of all. And then after it was painted, I could see it was like a fairy queen in the clouds. And
Oh,
she
very
kept
cool.
coming forward. She still comes forward to me. And so it's kind of, yeah, it was a really powerful experience.
Now, where was this? Where in Ireland
It
was
was
this?
outside of Tulum, Tulum,
Yeah,
and it's
tourism.
not like a tourist place. It's just
No,
somewhere our
no.
guide knew about and brought us there and
It's
stuff like
like
that.
it's
So
like Airdrie, just a town.
just a small town, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even think anything of it, but it's this field outside, and it was very, very powerful. The energy. And then we had gone to as well in Northern Ireland, and I can't remember the name of the place, but it was like a big circular stone fort. And I mean, just walking up to it, like I had to stop because the energy was so powerful, even walking forward.
Wow.
It almost stopped you in your tracks, right? Gathered my bearings or whatever, and then walk forward. And it was like walking into it because it's like a little stone archway or whatever. You walk in, and it's like, wow.
That is
It's
so cool.
like there were just so many experiences like that. That was, yeah, life changing, right? So it was. I'm so excited, and in doing that, because I've had experiences over there, that when I came back doing my healing energy work, these these energies were coming forward from there to help me in healing. So
Now,
it, yeah.
did you not say that you received a bunch of is that the right terminology, downloads, when you were in Ireland?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was like, I could not understand what was going on. And it was, I came back, and then there was a lot of codes being downloaded into me. And so,
That is
but
so
they
cool.
were not activated all at once, um, little by
You couldn't
little.
have handled them all at
So,
once.
like, I had a few days of pretty intense headaches, shall we say, but they were coming through lit, and yeah, and so up to recently, and I was there in May, so it's pretty intense. It was a
I'm
pretty,
feeling there's still
stuff
I'm going to
happening.
use the word activating. Not
Yes.
so much downloading, but
No, they're
I'll say
there.
activating.
Yeah, it's like the files aren't open yet, right?
Yeah, they'll open well when you need them and
Yeah.
when you can handle them. Wow,
Yes.
that's cool.
Yeah, and so it's been a very because I didn't really before this trip I didn't really feel fairies as much as say dragons, for example, or
Yeah.
other things, and all of a sudden now they're like everywhere.
I think it's so funny when you and I talk and we just throw these things around,
I know, you know,
right?
somebody else is
Think
like,
about it. Like, think 5, 6 years ago, would you have been talking about the same thing as you're talking about now?
yeah,
I look back, I mean, I took courses in 2020, and that was really my start of my real
yeah,
spiritual growth, even though there was all kinds of things that obviously had to happen to lead me to 2020.
yeah.
But um, we talk about dragons, so we just throw it out there, and I'm wondering there's like 9 people or more watching right now, and I'm wondering how many of those people are going, what? Dragons? She uses dragons? She works, not uses, works
No,
with dragons? I corrected myself.
that's
She works with dragons to
yeah.
do what the heck is she? Like, what is she? A witch? She's some kind of an evil witch over here. So, dragons, do they exist?
Absolutely, they exist. They're
Thank
in a
you.
different realm, but
Yeah.
they have started interacting with humans more in this time frame. Uh,
We don't see them as I see you or I see them
yeah,
in
that's
glass
right.
of
It's your
water.
third eye, right? So it's kind of
Yes.
like it's not like you would like 3D where you see something solidified, right? So
Exactly. It's not like you're going to look out your window one day and see a dragon flying by. Mind you, that would be really freaking cool. Sorry, I would be really excited if I got to see my dragon fly by
yeah, no kidding, eh?
with
So
my real eye, not my third eye.
yeah, no kidding. Eh? But it's no, but they're very, very powerful. They're very
Yeah.
regal. So I work closely with them, and different dragons have different responsibilities. In my experience, you know, and this is the way that I really explain it, which I find it easy. Most of us have grown up and we were told we had a guardian angel, right?
Yes.
And so most people understand that concept, but also most people have a guardian dragon. And
Yes.
so, and I'll just say that all of the people that I have encountered have a dragon. I'm not going to say 100% everybody has one because I can't say that for sure because I can't speak to.
Everyone who has asked me about a dragon has
Mhm.
had a dragon.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
not met
yeah,
anybody who, and it's not like I go looking for people's dragons, but
yeah,
anybody who brings it up in a session or just in general talking,
yes,
it's like I see their dragon. It's as plain as I see you.
yes.
It's and it took a while for me. That was a big step for me, being the very analytical person that I am. How can that exist? It's
Oh, no,
so
for sure, for
it's at
sure.
such a different vibration
Yeah,
that it takes a lot to get there, I'll say.
well, yeah, because I remember thinking, yeah, whatever, before, you know, kind of like science fiction,
He's
right?
gone to the cuckoo farm.
And for me, how I work with dragons, because I work with them in different ways, because I can not only see mine, but I can see other people's as well. And some people have more than one. But when
Yeah.
I'm working with healing, say for Reiki, I'll use Reiki for example. I will also pull in the dragon energy is incredibly powerful and intense. And
Yes.
so, as well as having your dragon surround you in protection. So, different things like that. I'm not going to go into the whole everything, but those are a couple of ways that I work with them quite closely. And so it works. It works really
I think
well.
it's cool because I look at Ellison and she not only has a dragon, she's got a
Mhm.
family of dragons. Like her
Yeah,
dragon has
yeah.
babies.
Like
Like,
different ones have different, right?
and she, as you know, she has taken Reiki. So when we get ready to go on a trip, she will make sure she works with her dragons too, so they look after us.
Yes.
And so she will actually see, like when we had our motorhome driving down the road, she would actually see the dragons
Mhm.
encircling us, making sure we were okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she did it because she didn't trust my driving. I'm just saying. Um, it was a big motorhome. They
Yeah,
should have a license for those suckers. I probably would never have gotten one. Uh,
exactly. Right. So yeah, so it works,
and
and
you do a lot of work with the dragons.
yeah, I do. I do.
And people have to realize we're choosing our words carefully when we talk about dragons because we don't use dragons.
No. No.
They get really mad when you,
Yeah, they choose if they will work with you or not, right?
yes,
So,
we
yeah.
work with dragons. If they decide that we're worthy, is that a proper word? Probably not.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's
No.
more a respect thing,
Yeah,
right? So respectful of them and asking them to assist you, right?
exactly. I'm going to
So,
say hi to a few people that are
okay.
tuning in that's saying hi. Shelly Wasler says hi. Carrie Penchuk says hi.
Yay.
Susan Patterson says hi.
So
Our
nice.
friend Jackie Turner says hi.
So nice.
Everybody's tuning in. If you haven't said hi to, and we say hi and tell us where you're tuning in from. Those people, I think we know where most of them are tuning in. I'm not sure where Carrie's tuning in from. Carrie Penchuk. Tell us where you're from, Carrie. Everybody else I know, they're local or Vancouver, in the Vancouver area. I know Susan's from the Vancouver area. Shelly. Shelly's from Alberta somewhere. She's from Newbrook, Alberta.
Mhm.
I've never heard of Newbrook, Alberta. Have you?
I'm not familiar, but I know it's near. I think it's near Sturgeon County. I think maybe I'm wrong. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
our friend Melissa Cameron
Yay! So
says,
nice.
hi, Kev. Hi, Alanna. I haven't heard from Melissa in eons. Hello, Melissa. Tuning
So,
in from the dinosaur capital of the world.
yeah. Well, it's so kind of everybody to join us.
It is. It is. So back to Ireland. You were there for 10 days.
Yes.
I know we didn't talk about this before going live, so I'm gonna kind of I might blindside you with this one. You
Shocker.
had I know you had talked about doing a retreat to Ireland.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
doing that?
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that.
So that's the plan. I'm working on that right now, but I don't have the pricing yet. So that's why I haven't really put a lot out because
Okay,
actually working closely with the guide that we had in Ireland, and
nice,
we're looking at say 6 nights in September of 2024,
nice.
and it would be a small group because I'm not a big group person, maybe six, eight, maybe depends on the facility we can get
Yeah,
for sleeping arrangements and all that stuff. So still kind of working on that kind of thing.
very
And
cool.
then we would also have we would take a tour of some of these spiritual places,
Very
like
cool.
the fairy field, of course. I mean, and there are many fairy fields. There are so many amazing stories about fairies in Ireland. Like when one of my favorites is when they were building a turnabout, and they could not finish it because it was in a fairy field, and they would come in the morning, and these giant machines that they're using for construction or whatever were upside down, and so the fairies,
Don't
no,
mess with a
you're
fairy.
not you're not doing that here.
Go
and
elsewhere.
and they changed it. They changed the whole plan to
Oh
go
no
around it.
way.
Yeah. So they take fairies very, very seriously there.
See,
You
that's
do not
funny.
want to upset them. We're not talking Tinkerbell here.
Before you went to Ireland, I didn't associate fairies with Ireland. It didn't in
Mhm.
my brain. It didn't go together.
Yes.
So it was cool when you I intentionally didn't ask you a lot of stories about it because I wanted to
To do it
wait
here.
to
Yeah.
wait till because I knew we were bringing back the show and I wanted to wait till I had you on the show
Yeah.
so more authentic when I'm asking you. It's not like we've rehearsed this. Because
Yes.
people, I don't rehearse things. You should know this by now. I just fly by the seat of my pants. I have no questions written down. I just let the guides kind of guide us, and that's how we do this show.
And they're also bigger there than they are here. The
See,
one.
that's funny because, as you know, we had Ellie and I went to Ontario, and we went to a place called Coldwater, Ontario. I think that's Ellie. If you're listening and that's not the correct name, correct me. Message me, but I think it's correct. And it was really cool because we went into this metaphysical store, and this lady looked at me and said, "You're a psychic." And I laughed and went, "Oh my god, so are you." I hadn't said a word to her. She just felt me when I walked in.
Yeah.
Anyways, we yacked for a little bit, and we left there, and we crossed the street, and there was a fairy garden in this town. So of course, Ellie, we had to walk through it, and they were fairies, but they were small. Like I felt them. They were small.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't big.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really cool place.
Yeah. These ones were about 2 feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So interesting, right? Because you would think it'd be the same everywhere, right? But it's kind of really interesting, right? So yeah.
Yes.
So
now you got back from Ireland.
Yeah.
And you have all kinds of things happening. I mean, you're so busy all the time.
Yeah.
What's new with Akashic Dragon Healing Services?
I am so excited.
Hold on. She's so excited. We're going to talk about it. One of the big announcements.
Okay. I decided I wanted to have my own space. Like I do have a room like this one, which is now kind of empty now, but in my home that I did all of my services. And I decided I wanted to have a place outside of my home.
That is
so cool. Not everybody's comfortable coming into somebody's home and that kind of thing. And I just really wanted a separate space. And so this is a good thing for you manifestors. And if you don't manifest, you need to. Anyway, I wanted to find a small space, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on rent, right? And so then I had a number in my head. And I just manifested that I will find the right one. And I put some feelers out at the beginning. And the place that I'm in, I actually asked, and they didn't have anything at the time. And so then I don't know, a couple months later, I was contacted by this place that said they do have somewhere now. And it ended up being the exact amount that I manifested. So
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so very cool. And it's such a cool building. It's in Calgary, but it's called the 500 Collective, and it is beside an art gallery.
Oh,
and
very
cool. Studio is one studio, but many of the studio's artists are in there. That is their working spaces, so painting. So it's a very, very creative place. Nice. And they do also have rooms for rent for pop-ups and stuff like that, right?
Oh, very cool.
And it's so incredible. And so I'm very excited. So I got it on August 1st, and I've been kind of going in and decorating. I did post a little mini video, but I'm still working on that. And then on September the 9th, which is a Saturday, from 11 till 3, I'm actually going to have like a grand opening, an open house. I'm going to do some draws.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so
congratulations. That's so freaking big.
I am so excited.
Now, where is it? Let people know where it is.
It is 321 50th Avenue, Southeast in Calgary.
And 321 50th Avenue, Southeast Calgary.
Yeah, and the building is called the 500 Collective, and they also are on, they have Instagram and stuff because of the artists are amazing, right? So,
cool.
Yeah, so.
Now you can go to Akashic Dragon Healing Services on Facebook.
Yes.
You will have that address there. You'll also have it on your webpage. What is your webpage? Is it?
Update that.
You haven't updated your.
Well, I haven't put the new place in yet because I was kind of anyway, I have to update that. Yes.
What is your webpage? Is it Akashic Dragon Healing Services? No, it's still Ask.
It's alannascottking.com.
Oh, okay. There you go. What do I know?
Yeah. So
when are you going to change that to Akashic Dragon Healing Services.com?
It's funny because many years ago I had a different website, and I had a website and I called it what I was doing, name of the company or whatever it was. And then I ended up not eventually falling away from that. It was called Pump Up Your Team, right?
Pump Up Your what?
Team.
Oh, Team.
Yeah, pumpupyourteam.com. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So then I kind of moved on into doing what I'm doing now, right? And so it was better to, I felt, have my name as the RL. And so
Nice.
that way, if for
Smart.
some reason I was changing the name of the company or I was doing something different, I still could
Which
keep
you
it.
did because you weren't always
Yeah,
Akashic Dragons Healing. You
that's right.
were,
It worked out.
you were, weren't you Ask something
Yeah.
or,
It was Ask Healing, and it was become Alanna Scott King, right?
and
That
then
was
you
the name.
change that to ADH.
And then it's Akashic Dragon Healing now. Because
Nice.
then, I mean, when I did the Ask Healing, it was kind of like, well, I need a name for this website or whatever. So I used my own name. And then it did not, like, it was great, but I really, this particular website name now, the name of my company now, resonates so much more because I do all of my work in the Akashic Records as well as with, dragons are a very big part of it. So
And even your healing, you use Akashic Records.
yeah, dragons are in the Akashic Records as
Yeah.
well as angels. And then, we can, work through healing through there, scrubbing a person. And
No, so
there's a lot.
now you're able to do in-person sessions,
Yes.
obviously, but
Yeah.
you also do Zoom sessions, like you still
Yes.
have
Oh,
that
yeah, for
ability.
sure. I'll always do Zoom sessions, but if a person wants to come in person, then no problem because I do have the Reiki bed and we do it as well. So I do both, and it works
Nice.
well. And
What's
then
your most popular service that you have that you offer? What do most people book?
it depends, right? Because I've had a lot, and it goes into like spurts, I think. I've
Yeah,
done
I
a
agree.
lot of energy healing lately because there's been a lot of heavy energy and stuff like that. I do a lot of distance healing where they don't even come here. I have
Right.
clients in Australia and
Yeah.
different places in the world, and it works really great, right? And so that works really well. A lot of Akashic Records readings, and also like the card readings with messages from your angels and your guides and stuff. And I have like a ton of decks of cards that I use, and so it works well.
That's cool. That is so, so
And
cool.
I'll start teaching my classes again in October, I believe. So I just have to set that up as well. So
Now, are you going to be with your space? Will there be availability to do in-person classes?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
And I used to, right? But then the
Did you?
pandemic hit, and then everything was done on Zoom. So now
Right.
I can do both, right? So it
Right.
works out really
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I think an in-person is just that much more intimate in a different, like in a cool way. It's because a lot of stuff that you do is very hands-on.
You see, I don't, whether I do a session on Zoom or I do it in person, the energy is exactly the same for me.
Really.
There's no
See,
difference
it's
whatsoever.
different. It's funny
No,
because I often wonder with healing, is it,
yeah,
do you
yeah,
feel more power? Because I don't do any kind of energy healing. I just do readings.
yeah, no.
No,
Because I basically I tap into your energy,
that's true. It's just
right?
the same as what I do, just with a different
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
purpose.
Modality, right?
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
makes sense.
So, but
That
it's
totally makes sense. So one more time, give them your address of the new location.
okay. It's 321 50th Avenue Southeast, Calgary. And
321. There's something about that number that just
yeah, it's 321 and then 50 Avenue, Southeast Calgary, in the 500 Collective building.
that is
These
very cool.
amazing artists are there. So cool.
Very, very, very cool.
Yeah, and also I will have in my studio, I will also be, if you know of Vintage Soul Wellness, I will have some of her products as well for sale there. So,
And people,
um,
Julie, is it Julie Bousfield? Is that how you
mhm,
say your last
yeah,
name?
that's right.
Um,
And
if
her
you
clearing
haven't
spray
tried
is
her
incredible.
stuff, if you
Sorry?
haven't tried any of her
Oh, it's so much.
sprays, are you going to carry some of her teas there too?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
starting with just the clearing sprays, and then I also there's a really nice one as well for calming spray. So if you have anxiety or if you have anything like that, that
I
works out
used
really
her
well too.
her clearing spray at an expo we were at, and I tell you, I've used some different sprays. That one was magic.
Powerful, isn't it? Because she's
It,
also does Akashic Records. She does Reiki and such, and so she also infuses it with that, right?
She's
She's
she's cool.
incredible. Yeah,
She she really is.
and the clearing sprays are really good because sometimes people are like, well, why not just use some sage or whatever, right? Well, it's better in different ways because you have to be very cautious with
Every
sage because it is a very, you know, it's a indigenous tool, right? And it shouldn't be used just willy nilly.
Well, every time I think of sage, I think of the meme of my kids always freak out when I use sage, and I'm like, yeah, you little devils, get out.
But I started using clearing sprays years ago when I was working because I was working in a place that had a negative environment. And
Yeah.
so then I was spraying because obviously you can't start burning things in your
You
office.
can't run around the store with the sage.
They take a dim view. I did ask though, and they're like, yeah, no, Alanna, you're not allowed.
No, we will not let you do that, Alanna. That's hilarious.
Fine.
You know what's funny? I could actually see you doing that. I could actually see you running from office to office or in a store, whatever. I'm not going to say where it was, but office to office or some retail store,
Yeah.
running up and down the aisles with a sage.
Yeah, that's right. But it was just in this little office, and I had worked with somebody, and this one person was fairly negative, and so it was a small office with like 3 or 4 people in it, and so in the back kind of thing, and so it.
And no, Morgan, no, you can't just go spray people with a clearing spray and make them disappear. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
Morgan's
There you
cute.
go, right?
You know Morgan, don't you?
Yes.
He's watching. He says, well, he doesn't say hi, but he's watching. He's making smart ass comments, but he's watching. Debbie Van Meer Kensington is watching.
Lovely.
Morgan's very excited about your venture.
Yay! So
Yeah.
excited. Speaking of ventures, Kevin.
We have embarked. Alanna and I
Such a
have
good segue.
That was a perfect segue. Alanna and I have embarked on one of our biggest ventures ever. And when I first thought I needed to do this, there was nobody else that I would have reached out to or communicated with. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps all over my goosebumps. To partner with to do this, but you. Just so you know that, Alanna. I know I've never said that because we always joke around, but in all seriousness, I would not have embarked on this big of an adventure with anybody else besides my buddy who abandoned me and moved to Bali. But we won't mention his name. He's the name that should not be mentioned. But Alanna and I have formed a partnership, and what is it called? You don't know?
I thought you were going to say it. Okay.
No.
Spirit Fairs YYC.
Spirit Fairs YYC. Yeah. What is Spirit Fairs YYC?
Well, we decided we've both done event planning, and so we had talked about it several times before we decided to do this. And so we've decided to have a small kind of like a psychic fair, a spiritual fair in the spring. And so we have started on that, and I think it'll be really great. There'll be a section for people doing readings, and then a section, other tables for other spiritual businesses.
And that's the key. That's the key, that we're going to be a little bit different than a lot of the fairs out there. Is ours is going to be 100% spiritual based, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be, I'm sorry, my brain doesn't work the way it used to. April 6th of 2024.
Yeah, so a spring one.
Blackfoot Inn.
Yeah.
In Calgary.
Yes.
So is that southeast Calgary or southwest?
Southeast.
Southeast Calgary. If you have a spiritual business and you would like to be invited to the fair, reach out to us. What is our email address, young lady?
spiritfairsyyc@gmail.com.
On the bottom of your screen, right there. Spirit Fairs YYC.
Make sure you put an S on the fair.
Yeah, it's important. S, because when I first did that, I didn't put the S, because we plan on doing more than one of these. We plan on doing more than one. Yeah. It's going to be 2 or 3, could be 4 a year. but
Well,
we'll
that's not,
start with one.
let's just start with one, shall
We'll
we?
start with one. I always think big, and Alana's like, "Oh my God, what are you talking about?" Uh,
No, it'll be good. And the other thing that's really important, because we've both been involved with some different fairs, and sometimes we find that it's been expensive to go into them for
yes,
customers. And so we wanted to make sure it was affordable for most people, and so it will be $10 to get in.
yes, and children under 12,
And just say children for free. Yeah.
children for free, because
Yeah.
we
We're not
want you
going
to
to
bring your
start.
children.
That's just
We
crazy.
want to expose children to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
spiritual community and make them realize it's not
Yeah. Children are free
horrible.
with an adult, right? So
With an adult, don't just send your kids. We're not a babysitting service.
and it's in a
So
hotel, so it'll be nice. If the Blackfoot Inn is really nice, and there's lots of
it
parking,
is.
and it's easy to get to. It's right off Deerfoot. It's right off, close to McLeod Trail, and so I think it seemed like a very good venue for this.
I think it's a perfect venue. And they're really good to work with. The lady that we met is extremely cool, and really accommodating, and is making it really easy to put this together, to be honest.
Yeah, you should read what Debbie wrote about sage.
You know what? I have the ability to put that up on the
You're
screen.
so bossy.
Yes, as Indigenous people, we do use sage and other medicinal plants for clearing and healing purposes, but anyone can use it and is welcome to use it as long as it is harvested. When it's a gift is given back to Mother Earth to show our thanks for her providing.
Oh, great. Well, that's really helpful. Thanks so much, Debbie.
I'm going to read the rest of it because there's more. Um, Providing this powerful medicine with us, her children. Most Indigenous are happy to share items from our culture and traditions as long as they are respected. That's
Yes.
huge.
It is huge, and it's very, very important. That's why that I know that's one of the reasons that with Julie, where her sprays are called clearing sprays, because a lot of sprays out there are called sage spray, which is not very respectful. I find anyway.
Yes.
Maybe I
Nope.
shouldn't say that, but
No, I
it's
agree.
I feel more comfortable with a clearing spray, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So
That's cool.
for me.
You know what? I'm going to Debbie, you need to reach out to me because we need to have you on the show.
Yes,
I
yes,
know we tried to
please.
do this before, but you couldn't make Wednesdays. So just because of you, that's not true. I moved the show to Tuesdays just to accommodate. I'm joking.
Yeah.
It would be really funny to have Debbie and Morgan on the show at the
Oh
same
my
time.
God, that'd be hilarious.
I think I might. I think I literally might die laughing because
Yeah,
my
I
lungs
think that's
couldn't
a great
handle it.
idea. And Debbie's amazing. So yeah.
Yes, she is. She
So,
is.
yeah.
Reach out to me, Debbie, please, please,
Mhm.
please. So again, April 6th, 2024. It sounds like it's a long way away and you have a lot of time to wait. Trust me when I say we've already got probably a quarter of the booths, not paid for, but people interested in about a quarter of the booths. We only have 40 booths. Is that about right?
Yes, 40 booths, and then which was broken down into, okay, we didn't mention this as well.
Yeah.
So 8 readers, and then we'll have practitioners and vendors. So the practitioners are people that might be selling something, but also providing a service. So if
Yes.
you're doing Reiki behind the table or something like that, right?
And you're not going to have a huge amount of space. Don't expect it to
No,
be
there's 6 foot
20 by
tables.
20,
So,
just enough for a table so you're not
yeah.
going to have curtains. It's not going to be that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So you'll have to make it work.
Yeah.
Pricing. Should we talk about pricing on this or should we? Yeah, why not? I'm
Okay.
getting a yes.
All
So
right.
we're keeping it reasonable, not only for people to enter, but we're keeping it reasonable for the vendors and practitioners. So for a reader, we are $125, and for a vendor, we are $150.
And practitioners.
And vendors and practitioners are $150. So again, if you're interested, reach out to us at the email
Spiritfairsyyc at gmail.com.
I was going to say that, but I was just going to click on it first.
Mhm.
There he is. It's right
On
there.
the air while you were doing that.
There you go. It's that dead air space doesn't work well.
Dead air, man,
Nah,
bad.
nah, bad. Alanna, this has been amazing, amazing. I know it's shorter than normal, but we screwed up on the first 15 minutes, but oh well.
That's okay.
It's all
So
good.
life, right?
That is life.
We're in the
I'm gonna
Lions Gate. It's what happens.
I'm gonna throw you back in the waiting room. Don't
Okay.
go anywhere. I want to chat before you leave.
Okay. Sounds great.
But thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Well, thanks for
coming,
having
spending time with me again.
me. Mhm.
Um, it's perfect to start this. I had no idea it was Lionsgate Day. Um, I just knew I had to start it August 8th. In my head, it was supposed
Yeah.
to start in September, and then
Yeah.
I went, no, October. And then my guides were like, no, you have to start it August 8th. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I just listened.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll be right back to you.
Thank you.
Peoples, thank you so much for tuning in. The show wouldn't be anything without people tuning in. And, it means so much to me that you guys are taking an hour out of your time every time I go on the air. Our audience grows every single time. Please tell a friend. And if you're watching on Facebook, please follow my page. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and the follow button. It really does help our algorithms, whatever those are. I'm told to say that. My son told me. And again, if you want a reading from moi, please reach out to Kevali Channeling on Facebook and click the book now. If you don't see a time that fits you, reach out and message me and I will figure it out because my schedule's all kind of messed up right now. Until next week, I will be posting who the guest will be, and hopefully we're right on the air at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. You figure out what that is in your time frame. Till next week, talk to you then.